it is game on. Australia is going to the polls on May 3 for one of the most unpredictable elections in many years. You will be subjected to 5 weeks of relentless campaigning, and it will get very willing indeed. We already know what the messages are. The Prime Minister and Labor say, stick with us. The economy is turning a corner. The cost of living crisis is getting better. Peter Dutton says, don't believe them. We need to get the country back on track. There needs to be a change. Vote for us. It was a very early morning trip down Don Russell Drive today to the Governor-General's house to dissolve Parliament and start this 5-week campaign. And our political correspondent, Cam Redden, was there for us very early on. He's still there for us now in Canberra. The Prime Minister has made a big pitch to the nation this morning.
It sure has, Laura. 36 days to go. It's a significant moment in any Prime Minister's life and career. Anthony Albanese making that first drive as the leader of the nation up Don Russell Drive to send Australians to the polls on the 3rd of May this year. There's history everywhere you look for this. He's looking to become the first Labor leader in 35 years, if you can believe it, since Bob Hawke did it, to win consecutive elections. Paul Keating, Kevin Rudd, Julia Gillard, they only ever won one. Of course, the last Prime Minister to win 2 in a row was John Howard more than 20 years ago. So there's a lot on the line for the Prime Minister today, calling the election for just over 5 weeks' time. He's made his big pitch in the Prime Minister's courtyard in the last hour, telling voters not just to look at where they've come from, how inflation has come down, how wages have started to rise, but also looking to the future, some of the threats that Australia faces from around the world, conflict in Europe, the potential for trade tariffs from the United States and a broader trade war. He says the Prime Minister, with all this uncertainty in the world, he's calling himself a steady hand and asking for voters' support for 3 more years.
In uncertain times, we cannot decide the challenges that we will face, but we can determine how we respond. Our government has chosen to face global challenges the Australian way, helping people under cost of living pressure while building for the future. Because of the strength and resilience that our people have shown, Australia is turning the corner. Now, on the 3rd of May, you choose the way forward.
That was the pitch. He took a lot of questions, I thought, in the Prime Minister's courtyard. He let that media conference go on for quite some time. He waved the Medicare card around, Cam. He got quite emotional when talking about his mum. And we really know where the battle lines are set now. We have known for some time.
Yeah, and you've seen that focus on health in particular over the last few weeks, Laura. What really got the Prime Minister emotional, talking about the impact that the health system, Medicare, has had on his life, how Kerry Packer, when he had a heart attack, the Prime Minister himself, when he was involved in a car accident, and his mother, all ended up really within the same hospital ward all these years apart. You can see that that's the emotion behind the message today, the importance of investing in health and Medicare. We know the Coalition will call a lot of this a Medi-scare. They're calling this a scare campaign. The Prime Minister's saying that there would be cuts if the government changes. Peter Dutton and the opposition, of course, moved so quickly to match many of those health announcements in recent weeks. But the broad picture is really set up now with a difference on tax cuts, a difference on the economy. And we saw yesterday the Prime Minister all the day through Parliament, that confidence seemed to be growing. Labor not necessarily knowing on budget night that they'd now have something to run on, that they could say they would be the party of lower taxes going into this campaign, and that would be the election they're running. Of course, the Coalition promising to repeal the top-up tax cuts and embark on a cut of the fuel excise on its own. Here's the Prime Minister making that point in the courtyard a short time ago.
The world today is an uncertain place. But I am absolutely certain of this. Now is not the time for cutting and wrecking, for aiming low, punching down, or looking back. This is a time for building.
So the battle line's drawn, Laura, and is he ready? Well, look, this would have to be a nerve-wracking moment, whether you're the Prime Minister, whoever you are. But as he was walking out, I did get the chance to ask him, PM, are you ready? Are you ready to roll for another 3 more years and at least the next 5 weeks? Here's some of that exchange.
Ready to go? You bet. Born ready.
Born ready, he says, Laura. Words to live by, whether you're a journo, whether you're a Prime Minister, we're going to need to be ready. It's going to be a busy 5 weeks. Some said Scott Morrison was beaten this time 3 years ago. Not so today. It'll be a crucial 5 weeks to see who leads the country for the next 3 years.